Hello everyone! Welcome back to Plants ni Meg. And if you're new to this channel, I am Meg. I am a plant hobbyist from Pampanga, Philippines. I have been doing plant videos since sometime summer of 2019. And yeah, check them out. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe and also hit that bell button, so you'll be notified of my future uploads. So today, I just decided to do a short video talking about the top 7 plants that sparked joy this year, 2020. I was going to do a potting inuman session, but I'll do that later this week maybe. I received some questions on Instagram, and if you have additional questions that you want me to answer during the potting video, make sure to comment down below, and I'll also answer those while potting and in my Korean novella. Yeah, day drinking for the new year, yeah. And so it's just gonna be a short video, some sort of year-ender, so some disclaimers pala. So these plants are plants that spark joy this year. So those that have been on my favorite list for a while, like all-time favorites, like Monsteras, ganyan, hindi ko na sila isasama on this video. They won't be on this video because they've been my favorites forever. These would be just the plants that kind of really spoke to me this year. And another disclaimer, some of these plants I got this year, but some of them I've had them for a while, but they just, kind of spark joy this year. For me, when a plant is easy, or at least it responds very well to my care, it goes up that list of favorites. Ako, ganun yun, like when the person you love kind of flourishes and thrives in your love, it also makes you happy. So if you make your plant happy, it makes you happy. I feel the same. So yeah, I mentioned they're also surprisingly easy, so that's probably why they spark joy for me this year. So let's start with number 7, my Ficus villosa. Focus, ayan. Diba? The new leaves are kind of like gold or bronze, and then they're super hairy. Got this year, Feb of 2020, from I think Horticultura or Orchid Show, Quezon City Circle, from Tita May Tolentino, and I got it in a small pot. It has always been on my wish list, and Nante even tried to give me a cutting, pero it perished in transit. When I saw that Tita May was offering a pot, I went for it. It was like $750 yata that time. Of course, that was pre-pandemic, and I was scared at first because I thought it was a difficult plant, because I always see these guys being used as terrarium plants. Given that I love ficus plants, pero most of my ficus plants are trees, so this is quite different. It's shingling, and I was kind of scared if it's gonna die under my care, because it might need very high humidity. So I was pleasantly surprised that I just gave it a plank, and it just it took off. It's number 7. It's not higher up there because I find it difficult to propagate. So I think I've tried around 3 times to propagate this guy, and yeah, it doesn't work for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you know, please comment down below. Let me know how you propagate it. It should be much longer than this, but I kept on trying. How I take care of it, bright and direct light. I water it almost every day. I water the plant, I water the pot, and it's in a well draining medium, and I just gave it this wood to climb on. Honestly, I don't really do anything extra. Lodicia discolor. There's a plant friend, a friend that I met through Instagram, and then when she was going to migrate to Europe, she messaged me and she was asking for help in rehoming her plants. So if you remember, I sold a few plants around this time last year, I think. Was it? Or basta December din yata yun. Nikki of Not Your Typical Garden. So, yun. As a thank you, she gave me a plant. And it's the Leticia discolor or Jewel Orchid. Well, technically, I got to take care of it in 2020 because I got it late of 2019. And I am pleasantly surprised because I got a chance to take care of Jewel Orchids. The smaller ones, I think it's a different genus. Something. Anyway, the smaller, more delicate ones did well for me for a few months, but when summer hit, they just really melted. But this one, I haven't even repotted it. And I was able to propagate a few of this for my terrarium, and then I propagated a couple for my mom and my sister. And they take easily, and it just keeps growing. Honestly, super easy. I don't think there's really a secret to it. I think it's this plant in particular, this bigger Jewel Orchid. I think this is Lodicia discolor. If I am not mistaken, please correct me if I am wrong. But I think this one is really much easier than the other jewels. And the medium is Cocoa Peat with a lot of pumice and vermicast. It's well draining and it's well aerated. And I water it every day here in Pampanga. Take note. It's getting a lot of bright morning sun. Almost every day it gets very high humidity. Number 5, this is a plant that I also got this year. Ta-da! This is the Cirrus Spiralis. I'm not super nerdy when it comes to cacti and succulents, so I'm one of those who can't tell cacti apart and stuff like that. But I have a very small CNS collection, and back in 2018 I've always wanted one, and when I see one, I found them expensive. I think from the beginning they have been ranging from around 2,000-ish, like that. And early this year, I got this early this year, also Feb, from Quezon City Circle. It was less than 2,000. I think it was on sale. And at that time, compared to the other aeroids that were already expensive, I got this because I can afford it. Fine. So yeah, mag-1 year na rin siya. So 10 months under my care. And I found it surprisingly easy because I never had rot issues, as one would have with cacti and succulents sometimes. And my other cacti that are similar to this, I've had scale problems. So this guy, so far, I haven't had any scale problems. Even yung mga katabi niya nagkaroon ng scales, siya hindi. And na-propagate ko na rin siya actually. This is my top cut. So I have a base cut with a little cute Spiralis baby. How I take care of this guy, it's in a... I didn't change the medium completely. So I think these are from Baguio. And so I kind of modified the medium. I added a lot of pumice and yun lang. Actually, yun lang. I added a lot of pumice. And then this is growing in an area that gets direct noon sun. And ayun, nauulan lang din siya. And number 4, hindi ko siya madadala dito. It's very heavy. I'll just add a B-roll here on the side. So this is my mature form of Monstera Pinatita. So this was not acquired this year. When I got it, I had mixed feelings about it. Number 1, I felt bad because I had a smaller Pinatita. I think many of us are more familiar with the juvenile form. I think in 2018 or early 2019, I got the mother plant of this, and it barely had any fenestrations. And this guy, it just kept vining and vining, but it wouldn't give me any fenestrations. So I got impatient and I bought a fenestrated one. I'll try to find a picture of how it looked like last year when I got it. Ayan. So I got it from Orchid and Aroids when they were here in Pampanga. And I had mixed feelings because was I too impatient? And was it too expensive? Because back in 2019, 3,500 is a lot of money for a plant. So I got it for 3,500. I set it aside. I stuck a pole in the pot and it just took off. So ito na siya ngayon. This year, it really gave me joy. And seeing it right now, I really feel that the 3,500 was so well worth it because it's just so nice. How it's in a very well draining potting medium with a lot of pumice actually. I gave it a climbing pole and I water it every day if it's not raining. And it also bloomed under my care. So siguro isa rin yun sa spark ng joy sa akin. I'm gonna post a picture when it was blooming. This was sometime mid this year. Unfortunately, isa lang yung flower, so hindi ko siya na-pollinate. Nevertheless, it just keeps growing. It just keeps giving me new and more mature leaves. I've had some slight fungal issues. That's it. Number 3 plant. Philodendron strawberry shake. I also got this early of 2019 during the plant festival in Quezon City Circle. I got it from Orchid and I got it with I think 1 or 2 leaves. I loved it, but it wasn't one of my favorites back then because it kind of looked a bit scraggly when it started, and I try not to get attached. When I started, I was actually bad with erubescens philodendrons. I killed 3 philodendron pink princesses. When I got this, I thought, I was like, okay, it's nice to have while I still have it, but it's probably gonna, die on me eventually. But it didn't. I was able to propagate 2 plants out of it. I got it to grow kind of longer. I'll post a picture here. But I recently cut it up because after the typhoon, it was a bit scraggly. And I'm so happy because when I propagated it, it gave me 2 shoots. So this one already has a leaf, and then there's another leaf coming from a different stem. Ayun, so medyo nagulat din ako na nag-boom siya this year because nobody really liked this plant. And then suddenly, it's so expensive. This back in 2019, puro mga foreigners, people from outside the Philippines would contact me about it, if I'm selling it and everything. But people here in the Philippines, they don't really care about it. So I've always liked it, but I felt it's more of an acquired taste. How I care for it, I feel that it lasted longer with me compared to my other arubicans because I started growing this in a hanging pot. So I think it really likes airy roots. So now that I've potted it, I used a lot of cocoa husks. Aside from that, I water it every day. I give it bright morning sun. And that's it. And osmoco. And my number 2 plant that sparked joy this year is Monstera Pinatita. It sparks joy because I feel I associate it with hope. Charot and drama. Last year, it was our first time to see one. Me and Jean of Flora Filipina. Parang 2 leaves na maybe a node or 2. It was like 2,500 pesos. And back then, that was a scandalous amount for 2 leaves. Back then. And I went back. It was on sale. It was like 2,000 pesos. And I kind of went blindly for it. I was able to grow it for a while. For almost a year. But I kind of experimented on it. And I killed all off. I was able to propagate it, but I killed them all. And then Jean, luckily, a friend gave her one earlier this year before the pandemic, and she was able to propagate her specimen. So I offered a few plants in exchange. So it's a very special plant for me because, you know, I kind of fucked up the first time. I love the fact that Jean didn't judge me for it. Thanks, Jean. It's actually growing much better than my first specimen. Kasi yung first specimen ko, the variegations would always burn quickly. As in, so fast. But this one, this leaf, it was already here when I got it last month. And it's still variegated. It lost one old leaf, but it grew. Which one did it grow? It grew this one here. And it has another one coming. And number 1, I think you know. It's been sitting beside me. Philodendron Beauty. Can you see it? I've had this plant for a while actually. So I got this sometime late 2018. So 2 years na pala. Oo, 2 years na rin kami nito. And I got it as a cutting, a rooted cutting. It was unbelievably cheap back in 2018. Because back then, isa pa to, back then people didn't really care about it. So I got a rooted cutting for like 150 pesos yata or something. 1 leaf. I've always liked this plant pero hindi siya, it wasn't up on my favorites list because it takes a while to get going. So it really sparked joy this year, aside from the fact that it took almost a year to establish, and this year it just really kept climbing this pole. So, sometime back in October, it was already past this bowl. So I started to air layer it with sphagnum. And then it grew a couple more leaves after that. Pero, nagkaroon ng bagyo. There was a typhoon last month, Ulysses, and it toppled this plant over. So I lost all the plant, all the stem that was past the pole. It broke off. I was able to save the air layered one, but the rest of the cuttings didn't survive for some. Hirap pala niya i-propagate. I was able to propagate one node that I was able to air layer before the typhoon, and I put it up for bidding. In the proceeds were for the victims of the typhoon, since typhoon na rin lang yung pumutol sa kanya, might as well give back to the people who were affected by the typhoon. So, the winning bidder, shout out naman to Vince, he donated directly the proceeds, 13,800, to the victims of the typhoon. And I volunteered to keep it for him until it grows a new leaf. See, this guy, it takes forever to establish, but once it gets going, girl, yeah, this year it really flourished. It taught me to be really patient, because I grew it from a one leaf cutting. It survived the typhoon, and it was able to give something that would help our fellow Filipinos. So those are the top 7 plants that sparked joy for me this year. Why don't you share in the comments below what are the top 7 plants that sparked joy for you this 2020. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you end 2020 with a bang, safely, healthily. And also, I really wish everyone a healthier, a more prosperous, and a happier 2021. Thank you for watching, and Happy New Year. Bye!